You're sitting in your car, traffic stop, hands on the wheel. You're trying to stay calm, and the officer walks up and hits you with this out of nowhere. "I need to see your phone." Your stomach drops. You hand it over. Because in your head, you're thinking, "I've got nothing to hide." But here's the part most people never see coming. In about 30 seconds, that officer can get past passwords, security settings, stuff you thought was locked down tight. I'm a criminal defense attorney, and I've seen over 200 cases where someone lost everything because of what was inside their phone. Deleted messages get recovered. Private photos get used as evidence. Entire cases get built off a phone somebody swore was totally secure. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 exact ways cops get into phones without your password. And I'm also going to give you the specific words that can stop them from ever touching your device. This is not about hiding evidence. This is about protecting your constitutional right to privacy. And the mistake everybody makes is thinking Face ID or fingerprint locks protect you during police encounters. They don't. Here's why. You're at a protest. Police start making arrests. You get detained. You're sitting at the station, and an officer holds your phone up to your face. Click. It unlocks. You never touched it. You never consented. But your face just became the key. Here's how it plays out in real life. An officer says, "We need to document your property before booking." You say, "Okay." Then the officer holds your phone up and says, "Look here for the photo." You look at the phone. The phone unlocks through Face ID. The officer says thanks and immediately starts scrolling. You say, "Wait, I didn't unlock that." And the officer hits you with, "Your face did." That's consent, and it happens fast. Seconds. Now here's the legal part people miss. Courts have ruled police can physically force you to unlock a phone with your fingerprint or your face without violating your Fifth Amendment rights. Why? Because biometrics are treated like physical characteristics, not testimonial evidence. Your passcode is different. A passcode is something you know, but your face and fingerprints are something you are. In 2019, a federal judge in California ruled police could compel suspects to unlock phones using fingerprints, faces, or iris scans. And once they're past your biometrics, they don't stop at your recent messages. Modern forensic tools can pull deleted photos from 6 months ago, encrypted app data, location history, internet search history, passwords, banking information, medical records, all of it. Now let me show you the wrong way to handle this. Officer says, "Look at the camera for your booking photo." You look straight at the phone. The phone unlocks. Officer goes, "Perfect," and starts searching. You say, "I didn't agree to that." And the officer says, "You looked at it. That's on you." Now here's the right way. Officer says, "Look at the camera." You say, "Officer, before we proceed, I'm turning off my phone completely," and you power the device down. Officer says, "I didn't ask you to do that." You respond, "I'm exercising my right to prevent unauthorized access. The phone is off. I do not consent to any searches." The moment you see police, and you can safely do it, power down your phone completely. Because when a phone reboots, it requires the passcode. Biometrics do not work until you enter that code first. That's called the before first unlock state. And in that state, your phone's encryption is at its strongest. Why does that matter? Because once your phone is in before first unlock state, even advanced forensic tools have a very hard time getting in. The encryption keys are not sitting in active memory. Everything is locked down at the hardware level. That's your strongest protection. If you're already detained, you say this: "I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right. I will not unlock this device using my face, fingerprint, or passcode." Say it clearly. Say it loud enough that body cameras pick it up. Repeat it if you have to. And if they physically force your finger or your face to the phone, say loudly, "I am not consenting. This is being done under force." That creates a legal record. Your attorney can use that record to challenge the search. Courts are getting more skeptical about forced biometric unlocking, but only if you clearly objected in the moment. Now let's talk about the second way cops get into phones: psychological pressure. This one is so common it's painful. You're being questioned at the station. You're not under arrest. The detective is being friendly. Coffee, small talk, real casual. Then he slides your phone across the table, and he says, "Listen, I know you didn't do anything wrong, but your number came up in an investigation. I need to clear you so you can go home. Just unlock your phone. Let me see your messages from last Tuesday." We look. We see nothing. You're done. 5 minutes. You hesitate. You go, "I don't know." "So, don't you need a warrant for that?" And the detective says, "I could get a warrant. That takes hours, maybe days. You'll sit here the whole time. Or you just unlock it right now. We clear this up. You're home in 10 minutes. You got nothing to hide, right? Just unlock it." Stop. This is where everything goes wrong. The moment you unlock that phone, three things happen. First, you just consented to a search. Second, anything they find, even stuff unrelated, can be used against you. Third, they are not stopping at Tuesday's messages. They will scroll through everything. I had a client who unlocked his phone to prove he wasn't at a robbery scene. The detective found marijuana dealing messages from 2 months prior. He got arrested for distribution. He went from witness to defendant because he unlocked his phone. Detectives are trained to do two things at once: minimize the request, just 5 minutes, and maximize the consequence of refusal. You'll sit here for days. We'll assume guilt. You've got nothing to hide. Here's what it looks like when you unlock. Minute 1, detective scrolls recent texts. Minute 3, he's back weeks. Minute 5, he opens your photo gallery. Minute 7, he finds something interesting. Minute 10, he calls another officer. Minute 15, you're being read your Miranda rights. Minute 20, you're under arrest. And here's the truth. That 5-minute promise was never real. Detectives know once you unlock your phone, they're not stopping. They're going to forensically extract everything. They're going to recover deleted data. They're going to find stuff from months or years ago. That has nothing to do with why you're there. I've seen cases where people unlocked their phones to prove they weren't texting while driving and ended up charged with drug crimes from messages 6 months old. The detective wasn't lying when he said, "Just show me Tuesday." He just left out the part where he'd look at everything else too. Here's the right way to handle it. Detective says, "Just unlock your phone." You say, "I want a lawyer." Detective says, "That makes you look guilty." You respond, "I want a lawyer. I do not consent to searches." Detective says, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." You say, "I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. I want a lawyer. Am I free to leave?" The exact words are this: "I do not consent to any search of my phone. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. I will not unlock this device." That phrase, "I want a lawyer," legally ends the interrogation. They have to stop. Anything after that becomes inadmissible. Now, the third way cops get into your phone, it happens at the moment of seizure. Officer pulls you over. He checks your license. And then he says, "I'm going to need your phone." And you freeze because you don't know what that is. Is he asking or is he ordering? And that difference matters. There is a massive legal difference between a request, "Can I see your phone?" and a command, "Give me your phone." If it's a request, you can refuse. If it's a lawful command, you may have to hand it over physically, but you still do not unlock it. Here's the request scenario. Officer says, "Can I take a look at your phone?" You say, "Officer, are you asking me or ordering me to hand over my phone?" Officer responds, "I'm asking. It would help if you cooperated." You say, "I do not consent to any search of my phone or any other property. Am I free to leave?" Now the command scenario. Officer says, "Give me your phone. You're being detained." You say, "Officer, for the record, what is the lawful reason for seizing my phone?" Officer responds, "It's part of the investigation." You say, "I do not consent to this seizure or any search of my phone's contents. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. If you're commanded, you hand over the physical device, but you do not unlock it." Sometimes officers do not ask at all. They just take it. You're being handcuffed. An officer reaches in your pocket, grabs your phone. You say loudly for the body camera, "Officer, I do not consent to this search. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. I will not provide my passcode." That creates a record that you objected. If the seizure was illegal, your attorney can challenge it later. If an officer orders you to hand over your phone and you're being detained, you comply with the physical demand, but you preserve your rights. Exact words. "I am handing over the device under protest. I do not consent to any search of its contents. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right and will not provide any passcodes or biometric unlocking." And every word in that sentence matters. Under protest means it is not voluntary. Do not consent means any search without a warrant gets challenged. Fifth Amendment is your protection from being forced to give up your passcode. Will not provide makes it crystal clear you're refusing to help them access it. These are not just words, they are legal shields. They protect you later in court. Now, if you can safely do it, start recording. Say clearly, "For everyone's safety, I'm recording this interaction." If the officer objects, say, "I'm within my rights to record police in public. I'm recording for transparency." Now here's what happens if you do not unlock. Phone gets seized, police have to get a warrant to search it. With strong encryption, they may not get into it even with a warrant. And if they cannot access it, they cannot use it against you. Here's what happens if you do unlock. Immediate search of all contents. Forensic extraction gets performed. Data recovered going back years. Multiple charges possible from unrelated evidence. In California, recent cases have strengthened protection against warrantless phone searches. In Texas, courts ruled phones cannot be searched incident to arrest without a warrant. In Indiana, police must have a warrant to search a phone. Physical seizure might be allowed, but the search usually requires a warrant in most states. Now here's what you do right now to protect yourself. Police departments use tools called Cellebrite and GrayKey. They can bypass phone security. A 6-digit code can be cracked in hours. A 12-character alphanumeric code can take months or years. So you change your passcode from 6 digits to 10+ alphanumeric characters on iPhone. Go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode. Change passcode. Passcode options, custom alphanumeric code. On Android, go to Settings, Security, Screen Lock, Password. Do this tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Because every day you wait is another day your phone stays vulnerable to these tools. And here's a critical tip. Do not use common words. Do not use patterns. Do not use your birthday, your address, or your kid's name. Use a random mix of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Write it down on paper. Keep it somewhere safe at home, not on your phone. If you're going to a protest or any situation with higher police risk, temporarily disable Face ID and fingerprint. On iPhone, click the power button 5 times quickly. On Android, hold the power button. Select lockdown mode. Practice it now. Pull out your phone and do it 3 times. Build the muscle memory. Because in the heat of the moment, when you see police moving in, you will not have time to figure it out. Here's what you need to remember. Your phone is the most powerful evidence against you that police can access, but they can only access it if you let them, or if they have a warrant. The 4 phrases that protect you. Am I free to leave? That establishes the legal nature of the encounter. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. That stops questioning. I want a lawyer. That ends the interrogation. I do not consent to searches. That forces a warrant. Your practical next steps. First, power down your phone, then change your passcode to 10+ characters minimum. Second, disable Face ID and fingerprint unlock. Use passcode only. Third, practice saying those 4 phrases out loud. This is educational content only. This is not specific legal advice. If you're facing criminal charges, consult a criminal defense attorney in your jurisdiction immediately. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, share it. Because the smartest people are not the ones who unlock their phones. They're the ones who understand their rights and refuse to give them away. Stay safe, stay silent, stay protected.